Today we've got a very special visit. We are at the Garage Studio in Sunbury visiting Fiona Hanbury, who's an amazing portrait photographer, particularly for weddings and newborns. We're here today to discover more of what she does. What's your standard procedure when you're approached by a bride particularly? What happens?
So they'll normally send us an email or give us a call,
Okay.
and they'll say, are you available on a particular date? And that's where I stop the conversation. I go, what's your name? What's your partner's name? And tell me about how you guys met, because I want to know more about my clients, not just am I available to photograph their wedding. I think by getting to know them first, I'll know whether or not they're going to be my client and if I'm the right photographer for them.
What's your favourite venue to shoot at?
Ooh,
I'm sure there are lots of memorable ones, but where's something that's particularly stuck with you?
I really enjoy Camray Waters out at Ord End. I think it's beautiful. It's got lots of natural environment, which I really enjoy, and it's got a slight vintage feel to it. Same with Abbotsford Convent. That's a stunning place to photograph as well. But I think anything that's relaxed, country or vintage is really totally what I'm about.
Fantastic. And what is your dream time of the day to shoot?
Photographers have this saying, the golden light. So we love it, that hour before sunset when a really warm hue comes through from the sun. You get that beautiful backlight, the rim light comes around the veil and the hair. It's just a stunning time of day to shoot. Whether it's dawn, pre-dawn or sunset is always fabulous.
How long do you like before the ceremony, after the ceremony?
I'd really like at least an hour and a half, and that way I know I photograph the details, I photograph the getting ready, that last bit of hair and makeup when everybody's starting to look really fabulous and not so daggy. I get them in their bathrobes, the special robes that they may have bought for the day. Those little details that on the day you just think they're part of it, but when you look back they go, yeah, that was really special. I love cornering the bride on her own in a room where it's just the two of us, just so she can relax. She doesn't have anybody fussing over her. She can just take a deep breath and go, yep, okay, this is my wedding day. How do I feel? I feel great. I'm ready to do this. Let's go.
And then they have the ceremony, and then after?
At least an hour and a half. That'll give time for the bridal party to have cocktails and canapes or champagne and beer or whatever, without having to rush the whole time with, let's go and do pose B in position A, and we're going to go and stand in front of this door, and we're going to stand in front of that hedge, and we're going to do this. They've just got time to relax and enjoy the process.
Okay.
So the more time you can give a photographer, the more creative we can be, and the more time we've got to plan the shot. Having said that, if you give me 25 minutes, I'll still create something. It just won't be the same relaxed atmosphere that you would have had if you'd given me an hour and a half.
Yeah, okay. Have you always scouted out a venue beforehand?
If I haven't photographed a venue before, I always go. I always want to know what I'm walking into. I don't know if it's just me or if it's photographers in general, but whilst I like surprises, I want to know where the light's falling. Because you could go to a venue and go, I've seen some amazing photos in front of this wall, but if you go there on the day, I normally go a week before, and there's construction, or a mural that they really wanted to be photographed in front of has been defaced with graffiti, you need to have a plan B. Also, by judging where the light's going to fall, I can say, that was a great venue in winter when the light fell beautifully across there, but right now you've got direct harsh sunlight and you're not going to be able to look at the camera.
Right, so
let's look for another spot.
Yep.
Exactly. So light is my most important thing I look for, followed by location.
Okay. We have a pet hate when we see photos that come in, and the bride is holding the flowers right in front of their waist, because we've spent so long trying to get that lovely silhouette, and to get a lovely silhouette we need to show off the waist. What are you telling brides to do with their flowers?
Belly button or below. If you come too high, you are covering that beautiful silhouette, you're covering any beautiful detail work in the dress, and the same with the bridesmaids. So I always say just down that little bit lower to open up that shape.
What's your one big tip for a bride on there?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Like your photographer. Don't book a photographer just because you've seen one photo that you love. I always meet with my couples before the wedding. We might have had a coffee, gone for a walk, checked out a venue, done a test shoot is really important too. So meet your photographer, make sure you've got a connection, make sure you've got the same sort of sense of humour, that you want to hang around with this person for, half of the most important day of your life, so to speak.
Yeah.
Connection's important. When I started as a wedding photographer, I was booking everybody. Anybody who rang me and said, I want you to photograph my wedding, I said, yep, great.
Okay.
Now I'm looking for couples that I can relate to, have a connection with, maybe set the same values. What's important to you becomes important to me on the day. That it's important for us to get to know who you are, and not just capture your day.
draw them out. as you go through the day.
That's it, drawing out that personality, the emotions. Finding out the love story in advance is really cute too. Because you can say, remember when you guys, kissed in the car park on your first date? And suddenly I've got a natural smile and not something I'm forcing by saying, can you say smile for the camera?
Thank you for sharing all those tips with us.
Yeah, I hope they're useful.
So, yeah, absolutely. I'll put in the show notes below details on how to contact Fiona. Just check it out.